Hello, another video of Naked Photography here. This is going to be the 85mm Supreme Roundup. A lot of people have been asking me to do this, and also I've had a lot of people ask me about one lens and in particular. And I've owned two of them. I don't own it anymore because its image quality is rather crappy, excuse me. In the 85mm range, it is this one right here. It is the 85mm. Okay, it's manual focus. It is an f1.4. For some reason, I know, actually not for some reason, the reason that everybody keeps asking about this lens is that the idiot Ken Rockwell, well, he's correct on maybe about 70% of his lenses. He's dead wrong about that one. Not only that, he listed as a top 10 of all-time NIKKOR lens. I don't think he's actually ever owned it, and on that one he's definitely insane and smoking crack. On that one I have to call Ken Rockwell out as full of BS. I'm going to call BS on Ken Rockwell. I've had like about 20 people ask me about that lens. That lens is not worth it. You can find it used for about 500 bucks. I've owned two of them. The only reason I bought the second one is because I got it so cheap I knew I could resell it for twice as much. So let's go over the 85mm here. We got 5 different NIKKOR 85mm. Let's differentiate them out and let's go over what's best and make a logical decision based upon qualities, attributes, price, whatnot, so on and so forth. Okay, let's start out with the huge honker here that nobody really needs, or extremely few people I should say need, and that is the 85mm f1.4. Typically, you're going to pay about $650, $700 for this lens used. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. It's not as sharp as the 85mm 1.8G, nor is the more expensive cousin of this one, which I do not have here, but have used it also. That is the 85mm 1.4G. This is the lesser of the two. This one is sharper. This is the 85mm 1.8G. This is the most optically superior current production of any production, actually. I should take that back. Of any production, is the most optically superior 85mm NIKKOR. Yes, it does have a plastic chassis. Yes, it is a G version. Yes, it is gelded. It is neutered. It does not have an aperture ring for use on older film cameras. However, nevertheless, do you plan on hammering nails with it? Probably not. This is a studio camera, or an outdoor wedding portraiture headshot shoulder lens. So I give my highest recommendation to the 85mm. In this case, the G, or right at the highest, because it is the unquestionably the highest IQ, sharpest NIKKOR 85mm out there, and the best value out of all the NIKKORs. Now I say that as the best value with a caveat. My favorite little 85mm is this compact little baby. I mean, let's take a look at these two here. Yeah, this will last forever. Not so much. Extremely sharp, awesome, incredible. It's my favorite little lens to pack around. It's 85mm f2. Back in the day, f2 was damn fast. Okay, everybody now is like, well, when are they going to come out with a f1.1? I mean, what do you think? I mean, for Christ's sakes, you don't need. Now, for special effects, obviously photography is an art. The 1.4 version, like on this, the 1.4 85mm D version has an artistic effect, just as the 50mm NIKKOR f1.2 has a razor thin depth of field, gives that nice creamy bokeh that everybody is always pining after. But you know, at double the cost of the 85mm G, and that is used price, is it worth it? You have to ask yourself, do you need that extra 1 or 2%? You have to ask yourself, yes, oh my god, look at the glass on that, oh, I want to own it. Now, you want to own it. Do you actually need it? Obviously, we're talking about photography here. We're talking about art. We're talking about aesthetics. We're talking about empirical qualities of beauty. Does this lens give you that extra little 1%? I mean, we're talking about a supreme top 1% of thoroughbred here, and now we're talking about the top 1% of 1% of what extra that gives you over the 85mm 1.8. So we have to be logical and sensible even when talking about art and aesthetics. But top recommendation here, not out of everything here, but my top recommendation, because it's so tiny and compact, built like a tank, is the 85mm NIKKOR. I love it. It'll actually fit in my pocket. It is just damn sharp. It's wonderful. It's getting slightly harder to find now. Now here's a warning. Warning! Warning! Best value 85mm NIKKOR is the 85mm f1.8D NIKKOR. Now, here's something to warn you on, okay? You'll find both of these lenses and they're always the same price on eBay. One's a D and one's not a D. They're both identical optically. There is a quality difference. Let's take a look at the back element of the D first. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is all enclosed on the back of the D version of the 85mm. Let's take a look at what is superficially an identical lens. You see there it says D there, it does not say D there. Some people call this a pre-D 85mm. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. Let's take a look at the back of this. This lens breathes just like a human. It is not encapsulated. You can actually see there, if I get the lighting right, there's rim there, so if you're actually zooming this lens, it will suck dust in, and invariably these always have, let me get it out here. You might be able to see it, might not be able to. This one actually has a good bit. Anyway, they suck in more dust. Nikon redesigned that. They went, whoops! You know, our top portrait lens needs to be completely enclosed in the back there. And it is on this one. So since both of these price used on eBay is always identical, you always want to buy, and most people don't know the difference too. And basically everybody, they don't know the difference. They'll just call it a D even though it's not. Look for the D marks. You want this lens, you don't want this lens. There's nothing really wrong. If you find a super deal on this one, that's fine. It doesn't have a lot of dust in it. So know that there is a difference. So, like I said, calling out Ken Rockwell as smoking crack. He is dead wrong on the 85mm f1.4. There ain't nothing good about it. It's got chromatic aberration. It's got a bad magenta tint. Considering the fact that a really good one will run you $500 $550, and he puts it on his top 10 list, I'm calling BS on Ken Rockwell this time because he's full of poo on that one. I've owned two of them, and he's just wrong. He's wrong. Like I said, sharpest NIKKOR 85mm. Let's run it down again. It's 85mm 1.8G. It is sharper than her super expensive cousin, the 85mm G f1.4, which is $1,400 new. So yes, 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 for a lot less money, used or new, this is top recommendation as far as sharpest. Yes, it is a G series lens, but it is the cat's ass, and a lot less than her cousin, which is her sister, the f1.4G 85mm NIKKOR, which is a $1,400 lens and not as sharp as this one. Okay, 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 get it, got it, good, great. Silk, sex, and sugar, optically, and sharpness. My favorite little bastard, because she's so tiny, she built like a tank, 85mm f2, awesome, just incredible. Typically you can find them cheap. You know, this one is optically supreme. I've got 3 of these. It's just, it's just a great little lens. She's compact. She's also extremely heavy. Do not need this. Forget about the top 1%. You take the top 1% out of 100%, and then you take the top 1% out of that. That is what you're paying for on this. You look at it and you go, oh God, I want that lens. Yes, you want it. You probably don't need it. And you have to ask yourself, obviously, like I said before, aesthetics and artistic, or you want that? Are you going to be doing a lot of use of that sort of soft, super thin razor depth of field that you want the f1.4 over the 1.8? You have to ask yourself, because you're going to be paying a lot more for an additional 1.5, 2%, whatever you say. Let's say 2% more. You're going to be paying a whole lot more for that extra 2%. A lot. And as I said, warning, stay away from the non-D version, 85mm, because typically, unless someone has taken really good care of it, they're both optically identical. The D series is sealed off in the back, so it's not breathing and sucking in dust, whereas the D version, the non-D version, does. And they'll always find them same price used on eBay, so avoid this one and get the D version. Okay, this is another video from the Angry Photographer. If you like this video, you can always drop me a buck or two, or tell me to go screw myself, or, you know, walk down a dark alley, jump off a cliff, whatever makes you happy. You know, I'm trying to be helpful here, and I'm gonna go drink some more caffeine and do another lens review, and I will be getting into what you people have been asking for all this time, and that is a bunch of videos on techniques and so on and so forth. You know, a lot of the gear reviews are gonna wind down slowly but surely, because you know I've kind of reviewed the dog piss out of everything, and more people are asking about videos on technique and tips and tricks in that regard. But anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you later. Okay.